New York's Democratic Attorney General Letitia James pleaded not guilty today to federal charges of bank fraud. The Justice Department claims James misled a bank when she obtained a mortgage on a second home in Norfolk, Virginia, in order to get a lower interest rate on her loan. James spoke outside the courthouse in Virginia this afternoon, saying she will not be deterred.
So there's no fear today. No fear. Because I believe that justice will rain down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. I will not be deterred. I will not be distracted.
The New York Attorney General has been a target of President Trump since she led the charge in the civil fraud case against him and his company in 2022. The president was ordered to pay a $500 million judgment. However, an appeals court threw out that penalty in August. For more, let's bring in CBS News legal contributor Caroline Polisi. Caroline, walk us through the Justice Department's allegations against James.
Yeah, so the Justice Department is essentially alleging mortgage fraud, but because there is no federal mortgage fraud statute, they're doing it through these two other allegations, one of bank fraud and two of false information to financial institutions. And essentially, again, that's mortgage fraud, lying purposefully to obtain a lower mortgage rate for her loan. And specifically, they are alleging that she claimed that this would be a second home, that she would essentially occupy this home when in fact she used it as what they're calling a rental property. Now, all the reporting indicates that Ms. James purchased this home for a grandniece, and apparently she testified to the grand jury that she did not actually pay rent to Ms. James. However, we'll have to see what the evidence bears out. Regardless, it's a pretty low number. However it shakes out, of the potential loss amount that the government is alleging.
And her trial is set to begin on January 26th. The proceedings expected to last roughly 5 days. Are these trials typically brought that fast?
This is a quick jurisdiction. Eastern District of Virginia is known as the rocket docket. They want to get going. They want to get moving. Tish James herself asserted her right to a speedy trial, saying she wants to get this underway. And it's really not that complicated of a case. However, I would note that there are complicating issues for motion practice here, but the judge did set all of those dates as well. So there is a question as to whether or not we will even get to a trial in this case, because James is saying that she will be making motions to dismiss the case based on Lindsay Halligan's what they're alleging was an improper appointment as interim United States attorney in that district, essentially saying that the president skirted the appointments clause and having to get Senate approval for her, and therefore that the indictments should be tossed. And then secondly, they're going to make a selective and/or vindictive prosecution motion. We've heard a lot about this, Lindsay, because James Comey made the same motion in similar arguments, essentially all stemming from that Truth Social post that President Trump sent to Pam Bondi that was made public, saying essentially indict these individuals. So we'll see if we even get to a trial in this case, but if we do get one, it will be quick.
Okay, Caroline Polisi, thanks so much.
Thank you.